Hi there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette and happy Valentine's Day, lovers. I think it's a really lovely day to celebrate the love that you have for your partner. I mean, it is a bit commercial, but what the heck, I got some roses, so Billy's doing well. Well, thanks for joining me today because I thought, what could you make your little sweetie that's going to make them feel even sweeter for Valentine's? And so I'm going to make for you today my wicked chocolate cake. So before we get into that, I want to sort of look at the winners that were lucky enough to win book 4 from last week's the mini pizza breads, and they're very excited, these 3 ladies. So Gail Henrich, she's from Queensland, Bella Dixon from Victoria, and Lisa Morales from New South Wales. You girls have got the signed copy in the mail for you, so look out for it. And I will, of course, be giving something away this week as well. So now, when it comes to making the wicked chocolate cake, it's the only cake or baked good where I actually use the microwave. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to do it in the oven. But I will tell you how you do it both ways. So what I want to do before I actually get into it, I'm just going to go, there's the book that it's out of. There's the recipe for the fabulous cake. And I've got to tell you actually, this is an award-winning cake. Yes, years ago, I was on 2UE, I was a regular on 2UE with John, and a lady rang up and was proudly telling us how her young 8-year-old won first prize at the Royal Easter Show in the chocolate cake section for juveniles. Now, she hadn't said it was a low-fat cake or anything like that. This little kid was wearing her sash to school every day. She was feeling a bit fabulous. So yes, it's an award-winning recipe. Now, what you need is caster sugar for this recipe, Floralite margarine, you've got your self-raising flour, the cocoa. Now, the cocoa that I love is the Plaistow. And the reason I do that, I'm not paid by them to tell you about that, but I love it. Diane got me onto it and I'm obsessed because it's a really dark, rich cocoa, but of course use any cocoa you've got. We're going to use a little bit of bicarb soda, got 2 eggs, and this is the icing, so you're going to need some icing sugar, a little bit of flora, cocoa, a bit of, and a little bit of milk to do it. But to start with, I want to set the scene. So let's just move this over here because I want to prep up my dish or my tin. Now this is the dish or the tin you would use if you were microwaving, and they are really old. You can see like there's a few little cracks here, and I don't even know if you can buy them anymore, and that's why I thought let's do the other one, because if you don't have this then you're going to go, well, what do I use? Now this is an old one I had as well that you could put in the middle of a microwave dish and that would work. But the key is with this recipe is it has to have a center ring. It's really important. If I just put this into a normal tin, it would come out about this big and it just doesn't work well. So this is the ring tin, and it's one I've had for many years, but you can still buy them. So I'm going to spray it first with some cooking spray. Make sure you get that middle center bit. But now I'm going to actually put some paper in because I think it's really good for any baking if you want to be secure and know that it's not going to stick on the bottom. And also, often with chocolate, that's the key, that it may stick. So you fold the baking paper in half, then half again, then fold it in half again. Is it like macrame? Do it one more time so you're getting like an aeroplane really. Get your scissors. Now what I do is I put it in the center and then I cut it just a bit past it. Throw that out. And then what you do is you hold it reasonably close and then see where it goes to the edge and just put a little click, you know, of your scissors there and then cut it. Yeah? And then put it down into your base. I'll show you. Perfect! Isn't that just great? So there you are secure in how to make sure you don't get a stuck base, because that can ruin the cake. So we're all good with that. So now, let's get excited. We're making chocolate cake. Okay, also, this is a super fizzy recipe. Why? Because it's so easy. Honestly, if you think you're not a cook, you're going to be gourmet after this. So you're putting in 3/4 of a teaspoon of, 3/4 of a cup, I'm sorry, what am I saying? 3/4 of a cup of caster sugar. Then we're going to put in 60 grams or 4 tablespoons of the Floralite margarine. So now I'll put these in the sink in a minute, why I put my measure spoon over here was because I want you to note that all my recipes use the 15 ml. It's not 20. Now a lady was talking to me this week and she was having trouble with one of the recipes, and I found out she was using her big 20 ml spoon, and that's why everything was a little bit wet. So make sure 15 mils, and if you don't have any, get onto the website. They're really cheap and they're fantastic. All right, so let's put these in the sink. Wash my hands a little bit. Now you're going to add some boiling water. I just want to check that my water's nice and hot. And this is it. You don't cream it, you just dissolve. I know, how fabulous. So you're going to use 3/4 a cup of boiling water. Here we go. Fantastic. I'm sorry, but once again, did you note my red roses? A little bit fabulous. He's a good one, that Billy, aren't you, doll? All right, so there's 3/4 a cup boiling water. All right, in you go. And all you've got to do is dissolve. So this would be a great one for the kids, but please, you be the one that does the boiling water. We don't want any injuries. So we've done 3/4 a cup of the caster sugar, 60 grams or 4 tablespoons of the Floralite, and 3/4 a cup of boiling water. So you can see it dissolves really quickly. And honestly, I have been making this recipe for 100 years. Oh, wait a minute, I'm really not 100, so I'm exaggerating. But it is one of my all-to go-tos. My kids love it, and it's just fantastic. I love it so much. Actually, I must tell you a quick story, because I remember these friends rang us up, and they said, "Can we pop over for a cuppa?" And I went, "Sure, come on over." And I looked in the cupboard, there was nothing to eat. So I quickly got this together, made a wicked. I did it in the microwave because it takes like only a few minutes. Chucked it in the freezer. They walked in the door an hour later and I was icing that cake. Yes, be impressed. I know. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put the bicarb, which is 1/2 teaspoon, in with the flour, and we're going to sift it into the dish. I mean, are you watching how hard this is? So in goes the self-raising flour and the bicarb, because that helps lighten it. And please always sift your cocoa. It's like the icing sugar. I just sifted it up before we started, but they really need to be sifted, because otherwise you're going to be mixing lumps up and it makes it harder. So Wicked Chocolate Cake is out of book 2, which is a fabulous one. Here we go. And now I'm going to use my beater. Now this is a really great choice. Oh God, I'm making a mess of my book. This is a really great choice, for Valentine's Day, because we all think of chocolate, don't we? And what I love about it is that this has 2.8 grams of fat per slice, whereas 100 grams of chocolate, 30 grams. I know. And it's it takes no time to make it all. And it's called guilt-free chocolate bliss, that's what I call it. And it's really great because, as I said, 2.8 grams of fat, and it's only 151 calories. I know, get excited. Now, what we're going to put in now is 2 egg whites. Ooh. And just beat that, and the cake is done. I know. I love this cake, and I think that, you know, it's going to become one of your family's favourites. So let me just clean my mess up. And all I've got to do now is give it a beat. Just beat those egg whites in. I've set my oven, it's preheated at 180 degrees, fan forced. And once I've put it in, I'll tell you how to do this microwave, okay? So don't you go anywhere. All right. All right, so there is my wicked chocolate cake. So let's pour it into the dish. That's beautiful and chocolatey, decadent. I mean, who knew that weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? I know. Your family will be impressed with this recipe. Let me just scrape that down. We want to get it all in, don't we? Oh my gosh. It is one of my favourites. But gosh, you know what? I think I said that about all my recipes, don't I? Oh my gosh, look at these roses. Oh. All right. Just jiggle it a little bit. I'm sure that there's a technical term for that, but I say jiggle wiggle. In the oven. 30 minutes. That's all it needs. Boom. Done. Now, I hope you noticed I'm wearing a red shirt for Valentine's, and I've got my little heart earrings in as well, because it is the day of love. Now, let me talk to you about how to do this, and I'm going to make the icing in a minute. When you want to do it in the microwave, okay, just read the book, because it tells you everything. It says for a 1,000-watt microwave, because you know, they vary so much, you use 70% power and cook it for 5.5 minutes. Now, if your microwave is 1,100 watts, you keep it at the 70% and it's 4 minutes. So just know, it's in the cookbook though, it tells you. And then what you do is after it's cooked, when it beeps, leave it, do not open your microwave and leave it for 2 minutes. Then it's done, bring it out, tip it out, fabulous. Okay, icing sugar, sifted. Let me sift the cocoa. All right. So I have already done a cake ahead because we need to ice it, and that one's not going to be ready for another 25 minutes. So here is my finished product, my fabulous chocolate cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the icing and mix that in. And we're going to decorate it for Valentine's. Now, I've actually made, because this is so easy to make, sometimes when I'm a little bit bored, I'll come in and I'll make a couple because I know that they'll be used at certain times. And I freeze it, not iced. I just freeze it, I cling wrap it and put it in the freezer. There's a little bit more icing, a bit more milk. Looking good. Give that a good mix up. Perfect. All right. Now I don't give you a lot of icing, but you know, there's enough because it's all about making sure we've got that healthy options that aren't loaded with mega calories. Let me just scrape this out. Oh my gosh, just looking at it makes me feel fizzy because it's so delicious. Yes, oh yes. I might use my spreading knife. Oh, that's easier. Now, it's out of book 2, this recipe. If you haven't made this, you're welcome. I know, you're going to love it. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And because it's Valentine's, I got these little hearts. So, you know, you can put these on your cake. I think I got them in a container with some other stuff. Let's sprinkle them on. Oh, bless. How pretty is that? And you present this to your love. And you know what? I'd be making this for myself. Don't have to have an excuse to have someone to cook it for. That's for sure. All right, so there it is. Oh, I've lost a little heart. Oh. All right, so there's the cake, the wicked chocolate cake. It's guilt-free, it's fabulous. And I am just excited to share that with my beloved. Now, if you want to win this, all you've got to do is, well, you don't win the cake, but you win the recipe. It's book 2. You can win it this week. Some 3 lucky winners. What you've got to do is you've got to like, you've got to share, yes? And then in the comments, you're going to write hashtag Symply, the number 2. Remember the Y, not the I. Simply too good. And you can go in and get the recipe, hopefully, and you'll be the winner chicken dinner. Now, I want to tell you before we finish up that we have got some very exciting news. Yes, drum roll, please. We've got the new mentoring program starting soon, and next week you're going to get an email. If you've signed up to my newsletter, you'll get an email next week telling you all about it. But it's all new content, all new menus. Get busy, get excited. And you know what's even more special? It's a continual program. That's right. I'm excited. Now, next week, I'm going to be cooking a recipe out of my new book. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Cooking for 102. I'm going to be making the Mexican meatloaf. It's getting rave reviews, so I thought let's cook it on the show because it's a winner. Now, if you want to find out more, go to my website, www.simplytoogood.com.au. And if you want a little bit of more of a personal connection, why don't you follow me on Instagram? Hello, I want to see you there because I put lots and lots of great stuff on the Instagram, and it's Simply Too Good. You'll find me there. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Billy, here you go, darling. Okay. Happy Valentine's. See you next week, guys. Bye.